Record.
So can Christy hear us?
Can you hear us all right? Anyone that's calling in, I know you're likely muted. Can you guys hear us okay?
Who's talking but not there?
Michelle said she could hear
Okay, great.
our daughter. That's Christy.
Okay, we've got Christy here. Looks like she's navigating a few things, and I've got the screen shared here, so everyone should be able to kind of join us. Can you hear us okay? Okay, well. Okay, we've got a yes. I think we've got someone calling
That's
in.
from Michelle says she can hear, but can't see her.
Yeah, she's, I believe, calling in here, so. You know, every time we do an orientation, we try and get better and better at video call-ins, but I think it's never without an error. So we'll do our best and maybe check in with her in just a minute. So yeah, if we could maybe start on this end, and we'll end with a few introductions from myself and also Nancy and Scott Waterfall as we kind of go along. So.
Hey, I'm Dave Sharp. I saw the movie Meet the Mormons, and when I saw the man in Nepal, I thought, well, that'd be neat to be able to do that. And then when I was reading in Meridian, I saw that there was the opportunity. Okay, here it is, do it. So I joined in. I'm excited.
Awesome. And first time traveling to Nepal?
Nepal, yeah, business has taken me multiple times to China, so that isn't a new thing. But Nepal.
Okay, great. And is this your first time traveling in this type of fashion, maybe off the beaten path with this type of service project?
Yeah, I've never done it.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Glad to have you. Let's see. And yeah, we'll get to the waterfalls here in a moment, but.
Tim Fraudchen, but I heard it through the Meridian magazine as well. I've always been interested in Nepal, and when I saw that, I thought, okay.
Okay. Always interested in Nepal. Where did that interest kind of stem from? Okay.
Don't know where it started.
Well, we know where it's going to end here pretty quick, which is you're going to be out there. So cool. And yeah, I guess we can, one note I'll say about James here. So CHOICE Humanitarian has a partnership with EMT Utah, which is one of, I think, the largest EMT training and certification organization in Utah. And they staff a number of EMT volunteers through a volunteer network as well. And so through that partnership, they've begun to place EMT volunteers on CHOICE expeditions to really play that primary medical role. I'll let James introduce a little bit about his specific kind of first responder background, but I can tell you on every expedition where we've had an EMT volunteer come, they end up playing an integral role in allowing the group to feel safe, feel comfortable, and when and if, which is rare, but medical issues, whether it's trauma related or just exhaustion related or some form of existing issue, he will be kind of our boots on the ground, and you can really expect that the same level of first responder attentiveness and skills that you would expect when you pick up the phone here in the United States, that we will have as close as we can to that. And so it's a partnership we're really thankful for. And James for making the time and joining us as both a participant, but certainly kind of wearing that hat as well. So with that, I'll let James maybe introduce just kind of his background as an EMT.
So James Schwartz. So this it's kind of a little bit different. So I'm actually an instructor for EMT. I know they're trying to get a lot of volunteers from our students and stuff. So I actually work full-time as a firefighter paramedic for Sandy City Fire Department. I also work part-time as a paramedic for Bluffdale Fire. And then I teach part-time for this school as well. A little bit about my background experience. I started EMT school like in 2005 is when I first became an EMT. I've been a medic for quite some time. I'm actually over a decade now into EMS and actually working full-time in experience. So I'm getting old now. I realized I said a decade. I actually first started my EMS career. I worked as an EMT and a correctional officer at Utah State Prison for 3 years. So I actually worked and did all the EMS response in the prison.
Well, that's good, because I think we've got a pretty rowdy crowd here. So some of those prison techniques might.
My story is fun. I'm kind of all over the place. But and like I said, I've been with Sandy City Fire for about doing that full time as a paramedic And then, like I said, just teaching her as well. These kind of trips, they've always intrigued me. I've always wanted to do one of them. This one is definitely going to be kind of out of my comfort zone. I've never been further than like Canada and Mexico out of the country, so it's definitely a big step. And I know my wife's a little concerned about it because it's so far away, but no risk, no reward. So, I'm just excited to be a part of it. I don't know, for those of you that know Terry, Jordan, you probably met Terry.
Yes, I have.
Terry Holland, she's the owner of Utah. Been a good friend for years. I've known her for a long time. I've taught for her for years, and we always wanted to go on these trips, and and somehow they just always fell apart. Nothing ever worked out. We weren't able to get with a good group to go until we kind of got with you guys. And I almost got to go to the Dominican Republic once. That fell through. I tried to go to Haiti when that happened years ago. That fell through, so I never just got a chance to go. So the fact that this is actually going to happen now, and I can be there for you guys if you need any medical assistance or whatever, and to help out, it's really cool.
Great. So yeah, couldn't ask for a better kind of EMT member of the team. So thanks, and happy to have you.
My wife will be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she going to need me?
No, but she worries about me.
Yeah.
Well, great.
I'm Mark Abel. Bonnie, my wife, and I are going. I just retired after 40 years of practicing dentistry in January, and I'm still working part-time in the office to kind of transition. And when I see patients, they say, so you haven't traveled anywhere yet. You're supposed to travel when you quit working. I read the piece in Meridian Magazine about this, and we've done in our lives lots and lots of backpacking in the Sierras and all over the Western United States. And I had no desire to go do the European tourist thing. And so I read the article. Other than North and South America, we haven't been anywhere else in the world. I decided that's what I want to do. And so we're excited to go.
Excellent. Well, welcome. Let's see here. We'll just turn the camera over, put you in the hot seat.
I'm Tom Johnston. This is our daughter, Alicia, our oldest daughter, Alicia. And my wife, Mary Jo, and two of our other daughters are joining us as well. I believe Michelle is
Alicia
on.
is not.
Alicia's not coming, yes.
She'll be staying with her sister.
She doesn't speak, so if she's ignored all of you, it's not because she's not being polite. She doesn't speak, but she hears and understands everything. And we're kind of the three amigos. Where we go, she goes, except to Nepal. And she's going to be well cared for by her other sisters. But two of our other daughters are going with us. Michelle, I think, is online with this presentation there in Idaho Falls. And we'll let her introduce herself here in a minute. I think she can do that. And then Haley is with her family in St. George right now. So she's not, she'll view the thing by recording. I have traveled a number of times on different humanitarian visits in Mexico and in Mali, West Africa, a couple of times, and enjoy this very, very much. It's a very meaningful part of my life and something that I enjoy very much. The Waterfalls and us have been friends for many years, and Nancy's been after us for a long time to go and do this. And we thought this was an ideal time, and we're thrilled to be able to go. So we know these guys too.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
You're just in time to introduce yourselves.
And I'll Nepal and the Everest area has I've always had a real fascination with that as well. And so this is a thrill for us to do.
Okay, excellent.
We're delighted to do that. Have Mary Jo come along. It's going to be a great experience.
So Mary Jo, is this your first time?
As far as traveling, we've traveled a lot, but I've never done a humanitarian. And I'd never thought I'd go to Nepal. So but I will follow Nancy anywhere because I just respect her and know she would never get in harm's way.
Scott, not so much. But Nancy,
Yeah, let's be honest. We're all here because of Nancy. Sorry, Scott.
So we were thrilled that they invited us to go. So this will be great. It's a little scary for me. I'm a little scared about sleeping not in a bed, but I'm sure I can manage.
Well,
I'll sleep on Tom's bed if I have to. We'll put his and mine on together.
well, that's wonderful, and I'll say a note or two about Nancy and Scott to introduce them. But I'd also like to turn this around, and we had a few folks just join us. We're just doing brief introductions where you're from, how you got wrangled in to join us tonight, and
Joan Iverson, we would follow Nancy, especially if she reads us a straight.
Doesn't help me.
We're here. That's who we are.
Okay,
We're
friend.
neighbors of Scott and Nancy.
Wonderful.
They're nice people.
Well, we will turn our the time here. I know we've got a few people calling in. Those on the line, some of you might be muted. If you are, feel free to unmute yourself, and we'll let you kind of one by one just kind of introduce yourself so we can get a sense of who's with us. We've got a Brady and an iPad.
Brady's our daughter.
Let's see, someone's
Hi.
muted here.
I have no idea how to do that, Chief Dace.
Let's see, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, she says she can hear it.
Terry,
just
but she
fine.
doesn't know how to unmute it.
I think I just unmuted for her. Go ahead and speak up if anyone's on the line. Otherwise, wave frantically and we will count that as a wonderful introduction. It sounds like this is Christine waving. Christy, yep.
It's Christy.
Oh,
Can
there,
you hear me?
we hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So we're just having introductions. I missed the first part. I'm Christy. I live in Texas, and I'm so excited to be going to Nepal with all of you, and I hope I can do some good there.
Well, if you work as well as you wave frantically, I think you'll be a wonderful contribution.
Thanks.
Great. And do we have anyone else who's calling in? I think there's a couple more. Feel free to chime in now to introduce yourselves. Otherwise, we appreciate your presence and look forward to meeting you in Nepal. I think with that, I'm going to scroll up just real quick. We're going to be talking about a few components today before I get into a few more introductions. So here's, oh, is that someone on the phone there?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'll tell you what my daughter said.
that sounds great.
She
Yeah.
says, I wanted to go do these types of service expeditions, and I am super excited to go with my family. Great.
Couldn't say it.
Which daughter?
That's Michelle.
Time. Well,
Great.
well said. So just by means of introduction to myself, I'm Jordan. I'm the Director of Expeditions here, and I've emailed with many of you, and I also work a lot with a gal named Chelsea. That's the Expeditions email. Some of you may have seen that coming through. So Chelsea and I, our job is to help you all feel as prepared as possible, have the resources that you need. So any questions, particularly on the administrative side of things, that's what we're here for. And I could not be happier to introduce Nancy and Scott Waterfall as your leaders. You mentioned, a few people have mentioned, you know, where Nancy and Scott, we'll throw him in there, head off, you're eager to follow. And I echo that. I've had the chance to work with both Nancy and Scott, but particularly Nancy leading an expedition. And I haven't had more fun and felt more supported as a leader of an expedition than being in the hands of the Waterfall clan. They're just phenomenal. And they've had the chance to lead a number of expeditions for CHOICE over the years, particularly and most recently in Nepal, including about this time last year. So very strong relationships with our in-country team, with the area, with the culture, and with what it takes to successfully navigate this type of experience. And so with that said, they are a really perfect fit for this trip. I will let them maybe just introduce or share a few thoughts of maybe why they were particularly excited to get involved with CHOICE and maybe this trip. And then I'll just share some thoughts about the proctors. And then after that, we'll get into kind of the orientation. So.
Go ahead.
We are the Waterfalls from Ogden, Utah, and we came to CHOICE back in 2006, 2007. We took our family to Kenya and worked with Rigo Lagogo in Kenya with a school construction. I will tell you now that really the most important part of what we do on an expedition is the relationships forged with the people people that are there. The projects that we work on are ancillary to everything else on the human side. It's all about the people, and that's what we are doing. We are building bridges and encouraging them in the work that they themselves have designed. And that's what I like about Choice. It's self-directed. It's all about self-improvement, self-reliance, and becoming independent. And yet working within a community, whether it's within their family or their village unit, to raise the standard of living and provide for their children a better way of living. And so it's really an awesome opportunity for my husband and I to be able to do this. And we are so excited to be able to go with all of you to one of the countries that we dearly love, which is Nepal. It is, every country in the Choice world is very unique, and Nepal is definitely one of those very unique places in the world. So I'm glad that we get to go and share that together. It will be wonderful.
And I'm Scott Waterfall, and I'm a footnote to Nancy's passion for humanitarian work and for workers. And we certainly enjoy traveling together and trying to make a difference, and look forward to this group experience.
Awesome. And with that, we literally have perfect timing. You'd think I coordinated this. Welcome to Pratik. He's our in-country director in Nepal. And we are extremely lucky to have him. Pratik, you showed up right on time. And so that means I'm going to let you come up here and maybe just introduce yourself a little bit. We've got folks calling in. You're being recorded, so no pressure. But I will say one note about Pratik and the in-country team. So every expedition is really supported by a number of stakeholders. You've met, myself, and here at Choice HQ, your leaders will be Nancy and Scott Waterfall. You're also going to be, this trip is in partnership with Scott and Maureen Proctor through Meridian Magazine, who also bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise on the issues that Choice deals with in Nepal. They've been strong supporters of some of the challenges that Nepal faces, and also some of the earthquake reconstruction, which some of you might have seen. So the Proctors are going to be part of the trip, but the most integral part of this entire experience is all of the work that Pratik and his team, some of them are up here now. This is certainly not all the team, but we put them up there and we have Pratik so that you all start to already understand that you are part of a very large program and team in country. And we'll talk a little bit about that before, who've spent a lot of years both working in development, but also supporting effective and sustainable expeditions. So they're going to be, as Nancy mentioned, one of the richest parts of this experience. So with that, Pratik, I'd love for you to just kind of introduce yourself and welcome the group. We'll come back to you when we talk about the community in a moment. But I mean, I was telling them,
Namaste.
yeah, very rare to have.
This is Nepali style hello. It's called Namaste. I have been working in Choice for last 8 years, and actually this is my part. Now I became an in-country director, but before I was a logistic manager of expedition. So every expedition goes through myself. So I would like to invite you in my country, beautiful country, Nepal, without any hesitation, without any worriness, and with good leader, Nancy Waterfall. She's a very good leader. So anything you have, any questions? If you have any questions for me, I'd like to explain more.
Yeah, thank you. And we will, as kind of the content goes along, when we get to the time where we can talk about the project and the community, we'll have Pratik jump on in and kind of introduce the community. So yeah, grab a seat. And with that, I think we'll turn the time over to Nancy and Scott to yeah, to get us a little bit
Okay.
more familiar with what we're all about.
Very first, we all need to learn this. This is namaste. And you will be greeted by the villagers. You'll be greeted this way everywhere you go in Nepal. And it's not just the hi, how are you? It's really kind of it's a very special form of respect that we show to each other. And I hope that you will become comfortable in doing that. It will be a way that you can communicate with the people in the village, and they will come to love you because you are showing them respect by acknowledging them in their language and with their custom. So remember, namaste. And it's a little bit of a bow of the head, and it's very respectful, and it's a beautiful way to greet people. So with that, the choice model is really, in my opinion, second to none for development. And actually, CHOICE is an acronym, Center for Humanitarian Outreach and Intercultural Exchange. Our expedition is not, like I said before, it is not so much about the projects that we will be working on. It is about the intercultural exchange that we have. Building bridges, bringing about better understanding for the Nepalese people, for us as the Americans. And at some point in that week, it won't matter that these people are Nepalese and these people are American. We will become friends, and that's the bond that we will take home with us. So it's a wonderful organization that was founded in 1982 by Dr. James Mayfield. It is a proven model of self-reliance. You will be given an annual report if you haven't already, and in that you can learn more about the model itself. But it is extremely effective and has been recognized by several of the national organizations that validate and vet humanitarian organizations. These are the countries where we work. And there are in-country directors who are native to those countries, and they have their teams who are also native. So they understand the culture, they understand the language, they understand the problems and the strengths and the talents and all the wonderful things that combine to make this model that we have effective. So we don't go there and say our way, it's our way or the highway. We work together and we come up with solutions that will work in country. This is the choice model itself. We begin with understanding, the villagers come to understand that in order for change to take place, they have to have a commitment to that. They have to believe in themselves. And believing in yourself, wherever you are in life, is critical to being successful at whatever it is you want to do. And so having that commitment to change is the initial part of what the choice model is. Once we get to that point, then there's a lot of development and a lot of training that goes on that we provide through our in-country people that helps develop those talents and skills, and starting to understand that there are resources in the community that this village can tap into in order to come up with the best solutions to ending extreme poverty in their village. And then once they get to that point, they've got their village leadership and they know the things that they need to improve in order to raise their standard of living. Then they develop an action plan. And that action plan involves several stakeholders. It's not just going to be CHOICE Humanitarian, because we've given them tools to help them realize that they can feed out into the community, into the local governments, and be able to develop an action plan that utilizes all of those things. Besides, the most important resource that they have is themselves, their own sweat, their own intelligence, the gifts that they've been given to be able to lift themselves out of poverty. And then there's the execution of that action plan. And that's a great way to start seeing the transition. And I've had the opportunity of going to the same village twice in Mexico. The second time I went was with Jordan, and I didn't realize I got to go back to the same village. And I was kind of a basket case there for a few little minutes, because I got to reunite with these people that I had come to love, and to watch them that week and observe them and see the changes, the wonderful changes that had taken place, and how they grabbed hold of their own future and said, this is what we are doing. And then we, as a group, helped with the celebration and evaluation. So our expeditions, there are probably 20 to 30 villages within each of those different countries where you saw on the CHOICE map that are in the CHOICE model of development. Not all of those villages receive an expedition. So a village is really grateful when they get to have us come. And again, it's not that we're going to do something wowzer for them. What we're going to do is learn from them, and they hopefully can learn things from us. But we build those bridges. So there's celebration and evaluation, and we congratulate them. They love us to be there, and it is a wonderful, wonderful experience. Scott, you want to talk about execute and
Well, yeah, I mean, this is really where expeditions fit in, right?
Mhm.
And the note I'll add to what Nancy shared, which is a great overview of the model, is that long before you all will visit the community in which we'll be working in that project, Pratik and his team working on the community organizing and project side far before you'll make it there. And they will be there supporting that long after this visit. And so expeditions in certain instances plug in to projects, accelerate them, provide that intercultural exchange, but the CHOICE in-country team is what is so critical to the sustainability and the longevity of that support. And that's very important note there.
And a village may be in that model for 2 or 3 years, 4 years before they ever see an expedition, if they see an expedition. And they're typically in the CHOICE model for approximately 5 years to get them to the point where we can step back and they just move right forward. It's
I did
really
something.
a great thing.
You'll find that the Nepalese enjoy celebrations. They celebrate when we arrive, they celebrate when we are there, or they celebrate when we leave.
So bring your dancing shoes. Every night we dance.
It's a lot of fun to dance. You sort of have to let go of some inhibitions and just join in. One of the cultural practices that I found really fascinating is the tika, and that's the colored dye or powder on the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't appreciate it my first experience in Nepal. We all thought we had gunshot wounds in appearance. We had red dye all over our heads, and it's kind of a strange look. But I've come to appreciate that is a blessing, and it is a cultural practice where there's an extension from the people to another of blessing and hope and love. And it's a great feeling to appreciate that and to understand that it's part of this celebration. There is a giving of heart and soul to a visitor. And so you'll find the people very loving and very joyful. And we want a better word. When we show up, we provide some form of catalyst for their chemistry. And it becomes a special opportunity for them to generate some enthusiasm and some energy in the community to have these foreigners show up and show some interest. So some good things happen. And it's a great blessing for them as well as for us as we participate in it. The expedition experience is kind of unique in that this is not a cruise ship experience. There is no buffet on the Lido deck every night at 9 p.m.
But we did say there's dancing. So there's definitely dancing.
Live music.
But there's a few things that we know. We've got a plan. We've got some ideas. We've got some hopes and dreams. And we're going to take care of safety and comfort as best we can. But part of the genius of this type of expedition is there's a lot of things we don't know about. We're actually going to create our own experience, and it will unfold. And through the unfolding of this experience, we'll have some unique opportunities. One of my old-time comedian friends had an equation for humor, and it was humor equals crisis plus time. And so we hope to have some crisis, and we hope to have some time, and looking back, we'll have a lot of joy and humor out of that. And so as things happen, the unforeseen occurs, and the unexpected or the undesired occurs, give it a minute, and you may be able to smile about it. Tom will be there. He'll be able to create a joke out of it, and we'll all be better for it. So look forward to the unknown. It really makes a good experience.
And something I would add, I always joke that when we put this up here, it isn't our attempt to kind of create a CYA policy for when we're ill-prepared or make mistakes, but rather so that at the same time, we reiterate, as we've done, kind of introducing, that your leaders, including Nancy and Scott and Pratik and his team, are really here to help us collectively as a group navigate when the unknown happens. So to make sure that when things occur and changes occur and unforeseen opportunities come up, that as a group, we're prepared to navigate them smoothly and comfortably. And that's really where the skill set of your leaders is second to none, in that they're navigating collectively a lot of factors. And as Scott mentioned, that's what makes this such a rich experience. So with that, Nancy, if you want to.
Okay, this is our trip itinerary. All of you should have seen this several times, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. You need to arrive in country by Friday, November 4th in the evening, but sometime November 4th, and we will have all of your flight itinerary. We'll know when you're coming in, et cetera, et cetera. Scott and I and the Nepal team will be there to greet you at the airport and transport you to the hotel. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to speak, blah, blah, blah. We will be there. And once you come through immigration and you're walking out, you'll see us. It will be very difficult not to see us. So don't worry about that. Whatever time you come in, you will know that we're there. I'll be jumping up and down. No, I really won't. I won't embarrass you that way. We are going to be staying the first night in Kathmandu.
Just a reminder, you need $25 cash for a visa. They require that at the airport, and they won't let you through the gate.
And you also
And a
need a passport-sized photo.
No, U.S. currency.
It needs to be U.S. currency cash, not a credit card, not a check, cash. And what I do is I put it in a little envelope and I have it right there with my photograph, and it's very easy. The forms we fill out in the airport are pretty simple. Just be patient when you get into the airport. One of the things that I've learned in developing countries is that things don't go like this. And if you can live with elastic time, then you're going to be just fine. So patience, and know that these people are loving and kind, and it's kind of refreshing to be in a place where you don't feel like you're on the treadmill going 50 miles an hour. So you get to the airport, we'll get you from the airport to the hotel, get you checked in. The next morning, breakfast will be served. And for those of you who are interested, we can go to church right there in the hotel. That's after the earthquake, their building was damaged, so we meet in the hotel. Or you can go out and explore Kathmandu. There's a lot of great stuff going on there.
So church has actually moved to a new location
Really?
as of the last few months.
Oh, okay.
Also, there is no Samala fort, so we have shifted to Samala to Shangri-La first.
Okay,
November 4th.
okay, okay.
Yeah, and-
November 11th in Samala.
Okay, so this is a perfect example of how some things change and they evolve.
And it may be different when we arrive.
And it may be. But let me assure you of this. First of all, like it has been explained, we are going to take care of you. I don't want you worrying that you're going to be there and you're not going to know how to communicate with someone. That's not going to be a problem, okay? And if you don't trust me, then you absolutely can trust Pratik.
Please trust us.
I trust him with my life. He is a wonderful man. He is very smart. He's got the best heart in the world. And so I don't want you to worry about when things change, because they will change. This is an expedition and things are going to change. It's a dynamic, ever-evolving situation. And it's okay. That's what makes it kind of exciting. It keeps us on our toes. So I don't want to go through the entire schedule. If you have questions afterwards, Q&A, we can deal with it then. But we have our itinerary, and And it looks really good to me. It looks really, really good to me.
Yep.
I would like to add one.
Okay.
Change doesn't mean we would like to keep you in other bad hotel. No. We found better hotel than Shambhala.
Oh, okay.
So no need to worry. Change for good reason.
Yeah.
I have a lot of really nice friends at the Shambhala Hotel. I'm disappointed, actually.
Well, we'll be making our way to Shambhala on the way back.
So I don't want you to worry about when we have changes, because really we are in excellent hands, the very best. So that's our itinerary. We can delve into questions afterwards if you want to, unless you've got anything pressing right now that you want to ask. Mark, pressing question? Okay, great.
And anytime there are changes, et cetera, those will typically be passed along when critical, right? And so there's going to be some changes that, you know, you are all so busy with packing and you just want to get there, that won't necessarily kind of impact the ebb and flow of your preparation. But when and if anything comes up that we've found, you know, is going to change what you might want to pack or what you might want to prepare, we'll certainly let you know of those. And then once you are in country, you'll have a pretty steady stream of communication, breakfast, lunch, and dinner usually, around what to expect, as well as kind of a detailed daily itinerary that we work around. So that's, again, how we kind of navigate changes and developments as they occur. And we'll also kind of talk afterwards a little bit more about the add-on for those who are staying, which includes Pokhara, et cetera. So, but again, you've got all this information, and
that just kind of gives you an idea of where we're working in relationship to where Kathmandu is. Extremely beautiful country. You're just going to, you won't believe it. I guarantee you will not believe how beautiful it is. And I don't want you to take it, what's the word? I don't want you to give a lot of attention to drive time, okay? Again, in Nepal, in developing countries, in the United States, depending on the day of the week and the time, traffic can be very, very different. And so we will have things going on in the bus, and we'll ask Tom to be our stand-up comedian. And if we have other comedians on board, we will have them help us. But it's a great time for us to get to know each other. And it's not like we're going to sit on the bus and never get up and never stop for bathroom breaks or to get up and walk around. I don't want you to be concerned about that. We will take care of you in that regard as well. So.
And this drive, as you saw in the itinerary, will actually be broken up into 2 days.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a drive kind of Saturday afternoon, getting us about halfway there. Mm-hmm. That's where you'll really kick off kind of the orientation that first Saturday. And then Sunday will be the remainder of the drive as we get into the community. So do our best to break that up. And as you can see, there's a lot of windy roads and a lot of elevation gain and elevation drop.
It is so beautiful.
It seems like a great opportunity to see.
Yes,
Yep.
You are going to love it because you really do get to see the country and the people in their environment. It's amazing.
So with that, I think we'll turn it to Pratik to introduce a little bit about Harmi and Gorkha and the project, the community, and what the work will look like. We've talked about there's painting of the school rooms, as well as some of the preliminary construction. So I'll let Pratik kind of introduce us to the community.
Well, Gorkha means it's a district name. It's Gorkha. Harmi means the community name is Harmi. We have district and small community. Gorkha was the epicenter of last earthquake, same district, but not this area, a little bit far, but same district. The students of this school are about 500. the village household in the village about 1250. It's pretty big community. And about 1240 houses were damaged by earthquake. So almost all gone. And now they are some are in temporary, some are in shade, tarps, that kind of things still. Because we are very slow, our government is very slow to do houses. This is a place, very historical place. It's called, there is a very top of the mountain. Mountain means it's just hill for us. Mountain means not Himalaya. Top of the mountain, it's called Liglig Court. And 200 years back, there were race to be a king. There are special ethnic group, it's called Ghale, and they race every year to be a king. Who won the race? Yeah,
To be the king.
yeah, to be the king. But one very clever Saha came to that race to be a participant, and he killed all those participants and won the race, and that race never happened after that.
I wonder why no one enrolled in subsequent years.
Nepal for many years, generation by generation. That is the place. If we would like to go that place, I never been to that mountain. It took about 2 hours walking. We have to hike up. No, if we manage small buses, local buses, one or two buses, and go a little bit up to there somewhere and hike for another 40 minutes or 30 to 40 minutes hike. Or we have another very good viewpoint. It's called Srinath Fort. You can go to there about 1 hour hike. And it's very beautiful community, very good, big heart man. Big heart people. And so many different ethnic group and other Brahmin, many caste people live there, that community. So culture also are very different. Every caste has their own different culture. Among the one caste, there are so many other different culture and different castes. So we have plenty of culture, plenty of caste. So you can enjoy to talking with the people, with the women, father, mother, kids. There are so many very kind people. And we are thinking one existing school building painting project-wise. If who doesn't want to do little hard work, they will go for painting the school. Who wants to do little hard work, sometimes hard work, sometimes painting is okay. We are going to build 8 rooms, 2-story, double-story school building in the same location, same compound. So you can choose your project, painting, either painting or artwork. Both.
So on the hard work part, is that foundation work? Is it putting up walls? What would that be?
We will be on what, 5th or 6th in the village. It means, I think, upper foundation work. We'll do some brick work or some concrete work, something. We'll carry material or something.
One thing I will add, Pratik probably wouldn't share it in this fashion, being humble about the work that they've achieved. So in the earthquake of last year, upwards of 4,500 schools were devastated.
8,500.
Schools, 8,500. So of those,
10,000 people.
yeah. So of those schools, nothing's easy in Nepal to get done programmatically, technically. A lot of jam in the government with respect to aid and funds that have come in. CHOICE actually inaugurated earlier this year the very first rebuilt school in Nepal after the earthquake, and has now completed 3. And so this is an example of a phase earlier in the cycle of effective organizational development when you can eliminate the bureaucracy and work directly with the community. And so very exciting to be a part of that on this project. So, and that's really a testament to Pratik and their work that they do
We built this
organizing.
school building. We have completed this 2-school building. You've seen or?
Yeah, maybe pass it, just show them there, yeah.
Yeah. This one.
So what would we be doing in the school?
So there's 2 projects. One,
In the construction.
yeah, so the painting side,
Right.
and then every item you may have seen in the video, hauling sand, rock, cement mixing, and moving. A lot of land moving, particularly when it comes to the cement foundations, and that's going to go in phases.
And so like Pratik was thinking, okay, November 4th, November 5th. And in his mind, he's thinking, so here we are today. This is where the project is at this point. By that point, this is where I think we're going to be.
Yeah.
And so, and things again change. I mean, you know, so, but that gives you an idea.
Yep.
Essentially.
So thank you, Pratik. I mean, we will take time in the community in mornings, during the day, working together, and certainly at nights, picking the team's brain and starting to learn quite a bit more as they introduce us to the community when everyone has that context. I think maybe we'll turn it over to Nancy and Scott again to just kind of walk us through Monday to Thursday when you're in the community. What does that life look like, right? What is the schedule generally like, and kind of what are those components?
It's just so fun. Oh, I love it. I can tell you that Monday through Friday we are going to be busy, and we are going to be engaged with the people and with our projects. I will tell you, because I keep having this thought in my mind, that if you, let's say Mary Jo and your girls befriended, became really good friends with one of the women who was coming to help work on the project, and she invites you to her home, and wants you to come and see one of the things that she makes or whatever. Please feel free to do that. What you need to do is let me know. I will tell you, and I will tell all of you, I prefer that you not be eating or drinking things outside of what we provide for you, because I cannot guarantee you that it will have been prepared to the point where it will be safe for you to eat. And I don't want you to feel like that's a cultural no-no, because the CHOICE team will tell you, all of us will tell you, your safety, your well-being is very important to us. The food that you will be eating will be prepared by Pratik's team. And I can tell you that's my son Mark with Pratik last year, and the food was out of this world. It was so wonderful. It was so great. And if you're thinking, well, ooh, I don't really like to venture out with my taste buds doing other things, Pratik is very, very aware of that and always has selections of things that are more maybe Western or American that you can choose from. But I would invite you, like I would invite my 3-year-old, try it. Please try it. If you don't like it, it's okay. But you need to try it because that is a part of the rich cultural experience. And that's what I want you to have. You may become a little bit tired of me because I will be kind of like a mom to you because
I'm just going to go out and say it. Regardless of your age, Nancy will assume the role of your mother, your mother-in-law, your...
No, not the mother-in-law. That's not always a possibility. But I can tell you that it is such a rich experience, from the beautiful colors that they wear to the beautiful geography we will be surrounded by, the food, the warm, kind hearts of these people. It is a wonderful, wonderful place to feel that humanity that sometimes we lose in our fast-paced world here. So Monday through Friday, we will have breakfast in the morning. We all gather, it will be the same time, the same place, and we eat. We will have chores to do. We want to be able to help Pratik with his team. So we help with cleanup, we help with setup, whatever it is, and you'll be assigned a team. And that will all become very clear at our orientation meeting. After breakfast and we've cleaned up, you can go get your water bottle that you're going to take, your day pack that you're going to take, and then we go to our projects, whatever they might be, and we work. I have one big favor to ask, and that is to remember that we are the guests and that Pratik and his team have developed the technologies with the villagers that works for them. We are not going to go there and tell them how to do things. We are going to learn how they do things. And you will be fascinated at how they are able to do the things that they do. So please keep that in mind. And then we'll meet back for lunch. We'll have lunch. We'll talk about what we've done in the morning. We'll tell you what's going on in the afternoon, what time dinner is, and then we break up again. There'll be time that you can rest. If ever you feel like you just need some downtime, that's great. Just let me or let Scott know that that's what you want to do so that we're not, where are they? They're lost. Oh no. Because, you know, I'm the mom and I'm going to think the worst. But if you'll just let me know, then it's going to be fine. I don't want you beating yourself up. This is to be an enriching and enjoyable experience. Dinner time comes, we have dinner, same thing, we'll have chores. We help where Pratik's team will allow us to help. We enjoy these fabulous meals, and when it's finished and it's cleaned up, then we take time to reflect on what we've done for that day. What our projects are, what we've learned, what's different. We'll have opportunity to talk more about what CHOICE is doing. I'm really excited to have Pratik tell us about the country that he is from, tell us all about Nepal and about the village that we're in, customs, traditions. He has a beautiful voice. He can play a drum really well. He sings very well. It is going to be a blast. And then we go to bed. Then we go to bed and we start the whole thing over again the next day. If you have suggestions or you have talents or things that you would like to do, we can incorporate that also. So.
And one thing I'll add here, you'll see kind of this juxtaposition of working and playing, right? And I know everyone comes, you've sacrificed time and resources, and we are coming with the intention to support projects, right? And get our hands dirty. Usually the ebb and flow of a day will start off with some strong project work. And after lunch, we'll find that there are organic opportunities that have developed to, for sure, have some people still working, but also to explore activities, families' homes, side conversations or opportunities to learn. And that's really the intercultural exchange. And so we put this up here so everyone kind of comes with that in mind, that, as Nancy mentioned, being very present and open to all the opportunities that you just can't plan. And that will mean some days we don't work as much as others, or some days we work even more. And sometimes we might take a 2-hour detour to hike up to see someone's home and hear their story. And the impact that that has on us and them is really what this is all about, right? It's not just, as we say sometimes at Choice, building projects, but also building one another as people across cultures. And that extends, really, those are those moments, as Nancy kind of mentioned, where you reflect and you learn and you dance.
A question on if people are invited to a home and there shouldn't be there, are they offended if you turn it down? Or what?
I'm going to let Pratik answer that for you. All right.
Now they understand our feeling. So if you tell them, I really like to have this food or these things, but I'm full now. I'll come again, and if there is time, I'll take. Of course, I'll take it, and they will understand. No, because we are very conscious with your health, with your safety. First, safety, health, and then other things. So, no outside water, no outside food.
And one thing on home visits or as activities get presented, right? One of the most important things as you get into teams is that once you're in country, everyone will kind of have or be assigned someone that is their go-to partner at the end of the day. And so you always want to make sure that if you're going off to a home or something presented itself, that you've connected with Nancy or Scott and let them know, and that you have at least one other individual with you. You don't necessarily need the leadership team, depending on the opportunity that's come up, but the idea is that you're supported and that folks know, and that is not because we have a concern around your safety rather, but mostly so that your leaders and the teams don't become alarmed just about understanding where everyone is, because there's a large, vibrant community and there will be those opportunities. So that's kind of, and you'll discuss that more when you're there, but.
Be wise.
Yep.
Be wise.
The 3 keys to the successful expedition. We've already talked about sense of humor. Mindfulness is an interesting word. It really has to do with sensitivity, being present, taking it all in, being open to new experiences, being open to other ideas and other approaches. It can just be a very fulfilling and satisfying experience to just embrace some new thinking. And that goes right along with flexibility. I guess if we're emphasizing, if there's a theme that's running through all these slides, it is we don't know exactly what we're getting into, and that's part of the design and part of the fun.
And one thing I'll add around this idea of mindfulness is there is a lot of moving parts on this type of experience, and your leaders and Pratik are going to be doing everything they can to pay attention to your needs, both physically, but also emotionally and culturally, as everyone will be processing a lot. So already, we encourage everyone to start becoming really aware of what's alarming you, what you're maybe nervous about, and eliminating the barriers to share that with people that can help you navigate that, whatever that is. So that means questions. If you have them, share them. It means concerns or worries. Don't hesitate to express that. And we also, because you only have 2 leaders and 1 Pratik, we also encourage everyone to start to kind of put on that hat of keeping an eye on everyone else. Have you been drinking enough? Do you look like you just need a rest, right? Kind of,
We're a family.
yeah, protecting
We're
each other.
We're going as a family.
Yep.
You really are. And you watch out for your family. So that's what we want you to do.
Yep.
And I would add one more thing. To me, mindfulness and being present also means that you're not always checking your iPhone. You're not always engaged in something that takes you away mentally from the experiences that you are having. So please keep that in mind as well. It would be sad for me for you to come home and say, boy, I really wish I would have not worried so much about taking photos and be more engaged and be present at the moment, because that memory can stay with me for a really long time.
Yeah.
So.
You know, and Choice works really hard to build strong relationships in the communities in which we operate. And it's not beyond us that when an expedition has the chance to support that community, that there is a high responsibility placed on the participants and the leaders to make sure that that relationship that Choice has built, that Pratik and his team have established, is only strengthened. And we do that by being respectful guests and enhancing people's understanding of what it means to maybe be from the United States, not, you know, confirming all the common stereotypes that might exist about wild Americans coming to visit, right? And I don't think this is a very wild crowd, but the idea is that we strengthen the best of what we represent, and that includes Choice. It includes the country we're from. You know, the Proctors have really opened up the Meridian Magazine community, so all of us bring our own faiths and traditions, and we want to make that a positive experience. And on that note, I'll just address a few things that are really important to maintaining that respect in communities. These are 3 critical rules for Choice. First is no individual gift giving. That means you're going to be confronted with all sorts of needs and all sorts of eager children, and there will be a desire to share a candy or to, you know, give something to one individual who might benefit from it. But there are a few reasons why Choice has this. First, the communities that we're visiting do not have the expectation that we are coming to provide handouts. They have a lot of respect and hard work that they've placed into their ownership of these projects. And the last thing we want to do is create any alternative view that they might have of themselves and their relationship with us, that this is not a handout organization. And second, no matter how many Tootsie Rolls we might have and how many times we may have counted the children, we will always be just one short. And that will create tension, resentment, and frustration within a community. So whether that's candy for kids or you know, something more significant, the idea is no individual gift giving. However, that said, there are a lot of things you can bring to facilitate interaction, to facilitate games. And these include things like bubbles, nail polish, face paint, also things like soccer balls, frisbees, volleyballs. Some of those things can be gathered together as school supplies and left with community leadership for the use of all the school kids under their management. So we encourage you to think through some of those things to bring, and they can be left just in the appropriate way. So any questions on gifting or anything of that nature?
So how do you organize that?
Yeah.
Does Nancy Scott, do you organize that kind of a thing?
No, I just say once we get there, yes, we would work with Pratik, and Pratik works with the schoolmaster or whoever is in charge, and then it's distributed that way.
When you
done
would
that
like
before.
to give that, means in the beginning or when you in the end, so last day. So
yeah, and it's typically while you're in the community. If you brought a soccer ball and you want to play around during lunch, get it out. You will find that those are some of the best icebreakers, regardless of your age and ability. Because I still always lose at playing soccer, so we usually don't fare well. But you'll bring that back in, right? And so you'll kind of be in charge of it, because it's yours to make sure that it stays with us during the community. And then at the end, we'll usually organize all the resources that we are going to contribute as part of usually a ceremony at some point. And Pratik and the team will, on behalf of the group, hand that off to the community members.
And I would say if you're going to bring soccer balls, you deflate them, you need to bring a pump, and you need to bring several needles.
No.
Okay? If you're bringing Frisbees, do not buy the ones at the dollar store. They last about, honestly and truly, maybe 20 minutes. And then they break up, and oftentimes you're just left to go clean up the pieces. A sturdy, real Frisbee will last a long time, and they will have a lot of fun with that. Another thing that's really good to bring are jump ropes.
Yep.
And you can get long lengths of nylon. Is it nylon cord that you use, Scott? You can buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's, and you cut it in long lengths and burn the ends and tie a knot, and the kids love to play with those too. Bubbles, like Jordan said, there's plenty of things that you can bring. Just keep in mind that we don't want to cause a universal problem in this village that, like Jordan said, has not had these.
No.
So if I'm understanding, I hate to belabor this, but so a participation kind of a thing.
Yes.
Works well, and like you say, you collect it back.
Mhm.
So you play the game, you do the activity, and then you collect it back and manage that. That's an excellent way of doing that. I've seen what you're talking about.
Exactly.
They get out of control really fast.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea.
Yeah, the idea is things that facilitate interaction. That's the whole point. And so another important rule, CHOICE is a non-denominational, kind of apolitical, international development organization, right? We work in 7 countries across all types of cultural, ethnic, and religious backgrounds. And participants of expeditions, right, come from all types of cultural, religious, and ethnic backgrounds. So particularly around election season, and I feel like, it's safe enough to say that this is a fascinating and heated election season. I would say that extends also to the conversations that inherently can be divisive or make anyone feel uncomfortable, right? Pretty soon, minutes upon arrival, you will cling together as a group. And so CHOICE has a strong policy that certainly between the group and the community, that we are very respectful and mindful, and no proselytizing is any part of our interaction with the community. Now, within the group, we acknowledge that, in partnership with the proctors, that we've got a strong network coming, from LDS Faith, and we're going to create some opportunities to participate for those who want to in LDS services. And so we, put that out here that within the group, obviously those are going to be common bonds that have brought some of you here and should be comfortable to discuss amongst yourselves. And so we certainly don't want anyone in the group feeling like they can't also openly, carry their faith. All of that said, the idea is to focus on the things that are unanimous and uniting for the groups. And we find that their, groups do a phenomenal job of that. And that's just because we acknowledge that those can be challenges, right? And so if there are any questions, areas of concern or curiosity or discomfort, that's where we hope that you have a very open communication with Nancy and Scott to raise that, right? And those are the things that keep the group moving smoothly. On the idea of no promises, very similar to no gifts. It can be very easy to feel a desire to get photos back to an individual or to keep an eye on them as part of a scholarship program, etc. But if you cannot guarantee that you can fulfill that promise by the time you leave the community, then certainly do not make it. So something that you might promise is, hey, do you have 20 minutes to come visit my farm? Like, if you probably know that you've got 20 minutes and you can come visit the farm, you should feel comfortable to say, I'd love to come visit your farm, right? But if you can't guarantee that, hey, I'll find you on Facebook and I'll be sure to send you these photos, etc., whether that's possible or not. Be very mindful about that. And if there are needs or things that you feel like that have come up that you want to explore, everything goes to the in-country team, and there may be avenues through CHOICE that you can execute that, but it's very critical that those go through the in-country team and not through individuals, because that leaves the same challenge that no gifts is meant to solve, which is individuals come and we have a shared experience, and we're not leaving any individual in a community with expectations that simply can't be met. Any questions about any of those?
The school supplies, could that include books?
Yeah.
And if so, what type of books are appropriate?
Yeah. Typically early learning books. I'll let Pratik maybe weigh in.
English book, but very
Yep.
yeah, intermediate level or not advanced level or that kind of things. Just intermediate level.
Picture books, elementary school books, Dr. Seuss type books.
Some stories. Very good. If you can supply like Kindle, that kind of thing. But one Kindle have a lot of books. If there is possibility, and helps to make a better library. So I think that's all.
So with this, we're just going to throw this up, and I'll let Nancy and Scott kind of field some of this. You all have access to this comprehensive packing list. We kind of put some of this up so they can kind of scroll through just to guide a Q&A, to be honest, around just logistics, packing, questions that you might have on what to bring, what not to bring.
And so what I've done, so that's choices, okay? And it's great, and I want you to read through it, and I want you to kind of examine that and how you live day to day, and when you're on a vacation, how you do things. And the paper that you're getting right now, and I will make sure that those who are not with us tonight, I will email it to you as well. But this is my packing list. This is, and the ones in red.
This is Nancy's
Yeah.
apostate packing list here.
This is the one that I really go to. So I'm just going to go through them quickly, and then I'm going to go through what's in my pack that I've got underneath. First of all, I want you to get a prescription of azithromycin, commonly called the Z-Pack. I hope no one needs to use it, but if you do, you'll be glad that you got it. And you can, there's plenty of time between now and our departure that you can call your doctor and just say, Joe Porter, I need a prescription of, I need a Z-Pack, and this is what it's for. I've never had a problem with a doctor saying, no way, I'm not going to do that. If you don't have to use it, great. Now, James is our EMS, and we do have some of those types of things. Personally, I think you should bring your own.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he will come with a jump kit that's fairly comprehensive, and that kit has an AED. It has a range of first aid supplies, including some prescriptions. All of that said, we want everyone to come prepared for the basic things that they know they might need, right? Because we can't rely on, for 20, 30 people, just James equipment. And so that includes, going to a travel clinic and getting those common prescriptions, a Z-Pack or Cipro for traveler's diarrhea.
But Z-Pack will also help with diarrhea.
Yep.
And I would prefer that you have a Z-Pack as opposed to Cipro. That's just my recommendation. It's upper respiratory typically, so ear, nose, and throat. Lungs will help with that, but it also helps with diarrhea. And so you can read through those other ones. Talcum powder. Okay, so we are not going to be bathing. Please do not think you're going to be bathing. You can wash up, with a cottonelle or whatever.
The hotels have.
Yeah, hotels, of course, but while we're in Village, I don't want you to think that you're going to be able to bathe, okay? It's better to just plan that you're not. So I recommend that you bring talcum powder, and I'm going to pull that out of my little magic bag, and that you bring cottonelle. It's or something similar that's flushable, which means it biodegrades a little bit faster. And you can wash up under your arms, your private places, and it will keep you feeling comfortable, unirritated, and you won't irritate any of us with an odor. So that's why those are on there. Toiletries and a camp towel. And I have a camp towel in here. And one other thing that you may want to bring, that you may want to do ahead of time, is spraying your clothing with what's called permethrin. I like to do that because it helps me keep from being bitten by bugs. I spray my pants and my shirts. That's all I do. And you can do it. You know where that is,
That's right.
Scott?
Right there, move the basket on the shelf.
Okay, so this is permethrin in a spray can, and you just spray your clothes with it. I do that in my garage. Cats don't like this. In fact, it might be able to kill them. So keep that in mind when you're using it. I spray my clothes with it. I leave them out in the garage hanging up, and I can do that tomorrow, and they can just stay out there until I'm ready to pack them. It does have a little bit of an odor to it, but it's not bad. So that's one of the things that I would recommend that you do, just for any kind of bugs that you might.
Let's see. I think we might have a question. I saw.
Okay.
Let me turn this on here.
Yeah.
Make sure. Oh,
Where do you get that?
hold on just a moment. Okay, we got you.
I'm here.
Okay, great. Did you have a question?
Yes. Where does she get the bug spray to spray on your clothes? I've never heard of that before.
I bought this at Sportsman's Warehouse, but you can usually get it at Walmart or any sports, like outdoor sporting company. This was
Okay.
$5.60. And this is enough to do
Okay.
both of my husband and probably 5 other people. It doesn't really take a lot. Okay?
Thanks.
I suggest that you bring 1 roll of toilet paper. And you probably will never need it because we always have enough, but I was on one expedition where we had a lot of paper users. And so you just never know. So a little toilet paper in there is a good thing. For women, feminine hygiene products, please, if you are still in that part of your life, please, man, you don't have to look at me at this point. Please bring that because you're going to be subjected to a different environment. You may have some stress and things that might kick those hormones in unexpectedly. So please be sure that if that's still a part of your life, that you come prepared. Warm sleeping bag. Pratik told me last year, please have your volunteers be sure that they bring a warm sleeping bag. Okay? And I have one in here that you can look at later. It's called a Kelty 3050, and depending on which side is up or down, depends on how warm it keeps you. And it's great. This is it right here, and it packs up nice and tight. But what I love about it is it's a square bottom. It's not one of these. I can't sleep in that, but I can sleep in a square bottom sleeping bag. So get a warm sleeping bag. If you don't have one, you probably have a friend who does, who may not mind you using it. So keep that in mind as well. You're going to need a good sleeping pad. And I recommend something like a Thermarest. All of these things can be purchased online easy, or you can go to Sportsman's Warehouse or any of the big sporting goods stores like Dick's or one of those. This is the one that I have, and you can get smaller than that, but this one is really great because it stays inflated. It inflates itself essentially, and I just put a little puffs in there and to finish it off. You're going to want to have a headlamp. This is the one I like. It is a P-Tech, and the reason that I like it is because it has a red light with it as well. So if I have to get up in the middle of the night to use the toilet, I can put this on my head, my hands are free, I can turn the red light on, and I'm not going to be waking people up because the red light is not offensive. It's mild. It's very nice. Please bring a headlamp and not a flashlight. You need your hands free, okay? So keep that in mind. Headlamp is one that you want. You're going to want to have some good working gloves that fit you well and that you're going to be able to utilize throughout the entire week. Frisbee and ball, we've talked about that. Comfort foods. You are going to be having different kinds of foods. So if you have certain kinds of granola bars that you like, or fruit leather, or things that will make you feel comfortable, bring those. It's just nice to have a little break. Maybe it's peanut M&Ms. Maybe that's gonna, brighten up your smile. Whatever it is, you can bring that, and it can make a difference for you. I didn't highlight this one, but 2.5 gallon size Ziploc bags are awesome. They keep your dirty clothes away from the clean clothes, and so please think about that and maybe consider buying some of those. We'll all need sunscreen. We're going to be up high elevation, and
How high is the village elevation?
Not that high. It's about
2,500.
Oh, that's not much.
Yeah, we typically will be going up and down quite a bit. There will be elevation gains and drops, as you'll see.
Yeah.
So there will be times where in a very short amount of mileage will elevate quite a bit. So you could go from 5,000-6,000 down to 2,000, etc.
So for purposes of our work in the village, you still are going to want some because we will be outside. And I bring a ball cap because it protects my face and it keeps the sun from going down into my sunglasses. And the kind of sunscreen that I like is in a roll. It's just in a little roll. It looks like chapstick, only a little bit larger because it's not runny and it doesn't make a mess and it's really easy to use and it's small and I don't have to worry about it running all over everywhere. Skull cap, I got one of those here. At night, it gets cold. It will get cold. This is the cold that I bring. And you might think, oh, really? That's kind of big and warm, isn't it? Well, yeah, it is. That's why I bring it. It crushes down, and I can have it on first thing in the morning, and then I can put it on at night when the sun goes down. And I'll stay warm, and I'll be pleasant. So bring something that will keep you warm so that you can be outside with us dancing. Right, Pratik?
Yeah.
Dancing.
Yeah.
Always dancing.
Dancing.
You need to bring good work clothes. Please do not go out and buy new stuff. Please don't do that. You can go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, Desert Industries, Savers, and get some great work clothes that at the end of the week, if they're really trashed, you're not going to feel bad about rolling them up and throwing them away. I would really feel badly if you went out and bought some brand new clothes. That wouldn't make sense. You need comfortable, sturdy shoes. Some people will say hiking boots. Well, if you're comfortable in those, great. But when I'm working on a project and I'm squatting down, squatting in a pair of hiking boots is not comfortable for me. I'd rather be in a cross-training shoe that has just regular height, not up above my ankle. So that's something that you need to work on, but it needs to be something that you're starting to wear now so that you don't wear blisters on that first day. Please bring good socks. That's crucial. Enough underwear to last you for the full week. You can change out your underwear, clean yourself up with your little wipes, and you're going to be good to go. I bring a small plastic bowl like this, and I don't know what our bathroom facilities are going to be like specifically. So if I bring this, then I have a wash basin, and I bring my camp towel that's in here somewhere, and I'm set to go. This was for you guys tonight. Sorry, I didn't get it out sooner. Anyway, my camp towel is in here. I cut this in half when I went to Nepal last time because one of my people didn't bring anything. It's really great because it's microfiber and it dries really fast, but it's very effective. And I can wash my face, I can clean myself up, I can hang it up, and it's dry in just a matter of maybe an hour, if that. And this, I can wash my face with it, clean myself up, and I'm done. And I can put it all together and I'm set to go. Then the last thing we've already talked about being $25 in cash, a small passport-size photo. I would suggest you keep that in a little envelope with your stuff so that when we go through immigration, it's right there. You hand it to them, you fill out your forms, and you're ready to go. And then you'll see my smiling face, and I'll be there to pick you up. So that's my recommended list, but please go through the entire list and see what's going to work for you. If you have any questions, please call me or email me. I'm happy to answer any of those questions, but I would seriously consider the things that are on this. Okay?
Just be aware that whatever you bring, you got to carry. There's no porters on this trip. And
Right.
so light is great.
Although I will also say that we do have to carry in the sense that you're going to be moving right from the car to the hotel back to the car, back to another hotel, to the community, and we'll be moving quite a bit. And that doesn't mean we'll be hiking with our bags any distance, but you will be, just having to haul it. So whether it's a duffel bag or a backpack, those are great. If you have roller luggage, that's fine. It's not that you can't bring it, but keep in mind that it will be getting moved a lot. And so it's more likely that the wheels or things can just get damaged, stuff like that.
Right. I tell my children, when we travel, you are responsible for your own stuff. I am not going to carry your bag. So don't pack anything in there that you're not willing to haul around yourself. So, yeah.
So what is
Dave?
it? Oh, I'm sorry.
So when I've gone to China, what I've done is take a bottle of Listerine
Mhm.
and use that for brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Don't even use for water.
Yeah, there you go. So those are the things that you're going to kind of want to think about. And I think that's a great suggestion. And that reminds me of another thing, and that is please join the Facebook group, because things like that are going to be shared over the next 6 weeks as we have questions. If you call me with a question, there's a very good likelihood that I'm going to put that and post that question, because others are probably going to have the same question. So please get on there, introduce yourself so we can all meet each other, and use that as your wheelhouse for understanding what's going on and where the group is moving forward. Okay? Do you have any questions about any of this stuff? Oh, Mary
So
Jo.
what is it that you take? You take that duffel bag? Is that
Yeah,
it?
well, I take a lot of stuff for all of you, so I end up with a lot of
For you,
bags.
But for you, what do you take?
These things, and like this is my,
So you pack pretty much have all your personal stuff in one bag.
In that duffel
yeah,
bag?
I would be able to have my stuff in here. Yeah, this would be enough for me. And yeah, because I don't bring all those clothes. That's just too much in my opinion. And I wear like the same pants. You'll see the same pair of pants on me every single day. Pratik will tell you. He saw me in the same pair of pants last year. But it's okay. You know, we're going to get dirty. That's how it's going to be. I can change my shirt, but my pants, you know, they're going to be the same pants every day.
Yeah, kind of something I pack as well, as I recommend usually in the day putting on that same work outfit, and then in the afternoons when you're finished working, you can change into like a camp outfit. It's a little more comfortable, it's a little fresher, and that, you know, you're almost between those two outfits for those 3 or 4 days while you're in the community, and that can just be a good approach to reduce a little bit of some of the clothing that you need. There will be the chance to leave supplies at the hotel in Kathmandu for those of you who are going to extend for the additional tour and want to leave a bag of maybe just some fresh clothes and things like that. You can do that at the hotel to pick up for then those subsequent days, and even leave then your other bag.
That sound like you were saying hotel beginning and end.
We're not, but they're very close, and we have the Choice office as well. So
And we will be there.
yeah, the logistics around sorting that
in our office.
Perfect.
is pretty smooth. So
And regarding the sleeping pad, we are going to provide 2 mattress in this trip.
All right.
So
And I slept on those last year,
I
and they
think
were fine with my.
if you haven't sleeping pad, for me it doesn't matter. I don't know about you, but you have to have a good sleeping bag.
That would be great.
So no pad needed, perhaps.
For my perspective, no pad needed.
yeah.
And he's our yoga instructor. So. One other thing, I will tell you that you will want to layer your clothing. Your shirt sleeves most of the day. I usually start out with my coat, and then I have this on, and then I take this off, and I'll have a short sleeve shirt on. And I will wear my Choice t-shirt. I'll have 2, maybe 3 of those max that you'll see me in. It's not the same shirt. Okay? It might look the same, but it won't be. So there you go. So think of in terms of layers, and you can take those off, and you're good. Good to go.
So at this point, Pratik and I have to go. He's got a fundraiser engagement that we're headed to. So I'm going to close the conversation just for those who've called in. But continue. Nancy will be here. Scott will be here with all of your questions for as long as you need to. We've got some folks who are here in the office. Yep.
Okay.
So I do want to just open it up real quick. Anyone on the line here that has a question that we haven't been able to get to? No?
You've got electronic chargers on here. Does that mean power?
Okay. Well, we're going to end the call here now. So thank you so much. Go onto the Facebook group if you have additional questions. And again, Nancy and Scott, myself, we're all available for follow-on questions as well. So thanks a lot.
Yeah.